And a pleasant good morning to you from High Corbett Field in Tucson for Game 3 of a three-game Pac-12 baseball series between the University of Arizona Wildcats and the Stanford University Cardinal. It is Sunday, run day, fun day, getaway day, and the Wildcats look for the sweep of the Cardinal. It will be the second consecutive home sweep Arizona has taken over Stanford. If the Wildcats can get it done today, they've won the first two games of the series in different fashion, 12-8 on Friday, and then a 5-0 shutout, a complete game performance from Clark Candiotti last night. We'll hear from Clark coming up here in a couple of minutes. So the Wildcats come in now having won the series. First place in the Pac-12, and including today, 7 games remain in the conference season. Arizona sitting with a record of 28-17, 16-7 in the Pac. Stanford is at 20-24 overall, 11-12 in conference play. Pitching matchup this afternoon, Cam Walty going for the Wildcats. The senior out of Elk Grove, California, has a record of 6-1, ERA of 2.64, and for the Cardinal, it'll be right-handed sophomore Nick Dugan, who's 3-3 with a 6.93 earned run average. So the Wildcats win the series with the 5-0 win last night. And that's what it's all about. Win at least 2 out of 3 every weekend. The Wildcats have now won 5 of their first 8 conference series with 2 to go at Utah next week and then at home to Oregon State. And with the win last night coupled with loss by Oregon State and Utah getting swept in a doubleheader, the Wildcats have a 2-game lead over the Utes and the Ducks, 2.5 over the Beavers. And everybody in action today will keep you up to date on scores. Next up, we'll sit down with Chip Hale, certainly talk about Clark Candiotti last night, what it was like to be in the dugout watching him pitch that complete game shutout. And then we'll talk to Clark Candiotti about his outing, his future, growing up as the son of a major league pitcher. And a heck of a game last night for Clark Candiotti, throwing 119 pitches, allowing just 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and getting the victory over the Cardinal. Chip Hale, Clark Candiotti, all ahead. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield.
Wildcat fans, today's game is proudly sponsored by Delta Dental. Please welcome to the mound, King Lee. Also heading to the mound, the winner of today's pregame car show, AJ Apodaca, who has won with a 65 Mustang Fastback. All right, Kinley and AJ, let's see that pitch. Let's hear it one more time for Kinley and AJ Apodaca. And thank you to Delta Dental for their continued support of Arizona Athletics and Arizona Baseball, and for being today's Game Day sponsor. And now, please welcome to the mound, Lieutenant Colonel Billy Sennheiser, who's an active duty special agent with the Air Force Office.
Chip, it's one thing for the fans to sit in the stands and watch what Clark Candiotti did last night. You're around him every day. When you were watching him perform last night in the pitch way he did, I mean, is it as special to you as it is to the fans watching the game?
No doubt about it. I mean, you saw the night before all the balls that were put in play and how many hits were, hit around this field. It was the same weather, the same dry air that we talked about. It's hard to throw breaking balls in, and he was doing it, and he was doing it efficiently, and threw 19 pitches and got through 9 innings. So hats off to him, and what a big help it is to our ball club to be able not to use the bullpen, but it was really, really impressive.
All right, so I'm going to look at the big picture, and yes, as you mentioned, save the bullpen. You got fresh arms today, but also Tuesday. I mean, does this even help on Tuesday if you don't have to tax your bullpen today? You look ahead to that game. I know you're taking one game at a time, but it has to be a benefit.
It will. It'll help our midweeks. We definitely have not performed in our midweek games as like we had in the past, and that's something we want to tighten up this Tuesday against ASU. And yeah, it'll help. It'll definitely help. We'll have more arms available.
All right. So, Stanford's a really good hitting ball team. I think that's one thing that your guys have done a nice job, in particular yesterday, of course, kind of slowing them down. And I asked you about Malcolm Moore last night, and holding him to really, not being much of an effect in this series. How important has that been?
Yeah, let's knock on some wood for that. We got one more game against him and possibly in conference tournament play. It's good. It's he has a lot on his shoulders. He's a catcher. He's a real leader back there. You can hear him talking it up the whole game. I'm sure he takes it real personal when he doesn't get hits because he knows probably what the team goes by how he does. So that's a lot of pressure on a young guy. He's only a sophomore, and it's a huge. When we look at the opposing team for the week, the Pac-12 play or any series, we look at who do we not want to beat us, and that's the guy that we've circled on their team, and so far so good.
All right, so Stanford only used one reliever, but they don't have a deep bullpen, I guess. Is it always one of the goals for your team, and today included, to try and get to that bullpen?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'd like to get more guys in there, but Thomas did a wonderful job for them. Came in flame throwing, and that's probably the best outing he's had all year. So yeah, we'd like to get Dugan out as early as we can. He's been really good for him out of the bullpen, and now he'll start again, which he started the year doing, 4-pitch guy. So it'll be imperative that we get some pitches on him and see what he's got early in the game.
All right, our thanks to head coach Chip Hale. More coming up in a moment. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Couple minutes with U of A pitcher Clark Candiati. Got the win last night in a complete game performance. And Clark, always like to, first of all, congratulations. Great win last night for you and for the guys as well. But I always like to ask a pitcher, when did you know you had your best stuff going last night?
I think it's when I showed up to the field. Showed up here, felt good. Everyone else is ready to play. So, everything just kind of aligned for a good night of baseball.
All right. Chip was talking about the fact how difficult it is sometimes in the dry weather to throw all your pitches, not just you, for any pitcher. Was that a challenge at all, and how do you adjust?
No, it's not a challenge. If it were to be a challenge, then I'll just have to adjust and kind of make adjustments early on before I let it get to me, but it wasn't a problem at all.
Okay. So when you came out after the top of the 8th, any discussion at all about not going out in the 9th?
Not at all, no. Just, let me have the ball, and I'm going to go till they take it away from me.
All right. So I think everybody knows your dad was an outstanding Major League pitcher. Take us through growing up around a father who's playing Major League Baseball.
It's great because, you have a coach at home in your dad, and you can ask him anything you want, and he's always there by your side. And even when I'm not really with him, if I'm somewhere playing summer ball or at school, he's always a call away. If I can't reach him by phone call, it's always a text. But it means the world, and I'm super grateful to grow up with a former Major League player, my dad.
Okay, so at what point do you remember your youngest age when you realized your dad played Major League Baseball?
Oh, I don't know what age I was. Pretty young, and ever since a young age, I've always known how special it was to be in his presence and just to always learn from him with every chance that I get.
Okay. So Kevin Vance has done some amazing things with his staff this year. The 3 starters, the depth in the bullpen, etc. Give us an overview of the Arizona pitching staff at this point of the season and why it's been so effective.
We've been nothing but special all year, special and successful. And the development here is unbelievable, both offensively and on the pitching side. But Kevin Vance and John DeRoyan have done an unbelievable job of taking the guys at the start of the fall and making everybody into elite pitchers. And like I said, nothing but successful.
All right. So I'm going to ask about your future, but first of all, classes are over. It's we're getting close to that time when there's no college to be concerned about for a while. Do you look forward to that? And what do you want to do once this season ends?
Classes are over for everyone. Finals kind of taking place now, but at this point, just finishing the season strong and taking this team to Omaha. We have such a great group of guys and unbelievable coaching staff. So, just staying true to it every day. And then, once all this is over, after a national championship, then going on to play professional baseball and play until I can't.
All right. So any advice for Cam Walty today, now that you face Stanford, about their hitters?
Just go right after them. Always use your best stuff and go with your strengths. And just like any other team, go right after them and be who you know you are.
All right. Thanks to Clark Candiati, last night's winner. Complete game shutout. Starting lineups when we come back. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. All right, here we go. Game 3, Arizona and Stanford today here at High Corbett Field. Final day of Military Appreciation Weekend. We had the flyover from the attack helicopters today, and the Wildcats wearing their camo caps as well as we salute our military who keep us safe and free. Here's the starting lineup for the Wildcats. Brendan Summerhill will lead it off in center field, followed by Mason White at shortstop. Batting third at second base, Garen Caulfield. Batting fourth in right field, Emilio Corona. Batting fifth and starting at third base, Maddox Mikalakis. Batting sixth and catching today, Adonis Guzman. Batting seventh, the DH is Andrew Kane. Batting eighth at first base, Tommy Splain. And batting ninth in left field is TJ Adams. On the hill for the Wildcats, Cam Walty, senior right-hander from Elk Grove, California. 6-1 record at 2.64 earned run average. Walty making his 10th start of the season. He has struck out 55 and walked 10 in 58 innings of work. For the Stanford Cardinal, under head coach Dave Esker, who is back after missing the first 2 games. His daughter graduating from South Carolina yesterday, and so he and his wife got back last night, and they will, well, obviously, Dave Esker, who just exchanged lineup cards with Chip Hale, back coaching the Cardinal here today. Owen Cobb will lead it off at second base, followed by Ethan Hott in center field. Batting third and playing left field is Court McDonald. Batting fourth and catching, Malcolm Moore. Batting fifth at first base today is Jimmy Nat-I. Batting sixth, the designated hitter today will be Brandon Larson. Batting seventh at shortstop, Trevor Haskins. Batting eighth in right field is Brady Reynolds. And batting ninth at third base, Timo Becerra. On the hill for the Cardinal today is Nick Dugan, a sophomore right-hander from Eureka, California. 3-3 record at 6.93 earned run average. Dugan making his 8th start. He has struck out 47 and walked 23 in 50 and 2/3 innings of work. Warm today, as we told you about. We knew it was coming, and 88 degrees. Our temperature check presented by Proactive Physical Therapy. Now, the good news is it's a very windy day. I say good because it's that natural air conditioning for everybody here that will keep them a little more comfortable. If you're on your way to the ballpark, don't forget to bring your sun shade and your protection today. We're expected to top out in the low 90s. And I said a very windy day, and right now that wind blowing straight in from center field up to 27 miles an hour. So this is a big ballpark, as you know, and that makes it even bigger. We haven't had a home run hit out for the first 2 games of this series because we've had a wind blowing in, but the velocity a lot higher here today. And there's a red flag warning around southern Arizona because of that. Wildcats entering the day with a 2-game lead in the conference standings. Arizona 16-7, and Utah and Oregon both 14-9, and they are playing today in Eugene in the final game of that series. The Ducks winning the first 2 games. Oregon State is 2.5 games back. The Beavers are 13-9. They've split their series with Washington State. USC is 3.5 games back. And likewise, the Trojans and Cal Bears have split the 2 games of their series. Arizona State, I should say Cal 4.5 back, and Arizona State also 4.5 back. Sun Devils splitting their series so far with Washington. Stanford 5 back. Then you've got Washington at 7, Washington State at 8, and UCLA out of conference play this weekend. And the Bruins are 10.5 games out of first place. So we'll keep you up to date on the scores as we move along. Meanwhile, we're ready to play ball. Owen Cobb to lead it off for the Cardinal against Cam Walty. And glad you could join us here on a Sunday in the desert. Wildcats will be on the road Tuesday night to face Arizona State in a non-conference game, and then next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Salt Lake City against the Utah Utes. First pitch of the ball game is in there for strike 1. To Owen Cobb, who's batting .317 with 7 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Cobb bats from the right side. He's riding an 11-game hitting streak as the day starts, and he takes a ball down low. It's 1-1. Cobb so far in this series, 3 for 9. Couple hits, single and a double on Friday. Single in last night's ball game and a stolen base. The pitch. Missed low and away, and the count 2-1. Mike Lusky calling balls and strikes today on a warm afternoon. The umpires dressed in black. Probably not ideal, but you know that's their uniform, right? Here's Walty's 2-1 now, and Cobb will foul it off. It's 2-2. And speaking of uniforms, the Wildcats wearing their Cardinal red tops, their white pants, their camel caps, and Stanford going in its road grays with their version of Cardinal red trim. 2-2 the count on Owen Cobb leading off the top of the first inning. Ethan Hott on deck, and Walty to the plate, foul back, and it remains 2-2 on Cobb. Court McDonald will also bat here in the top of the first inning. Walty has, well, he's pitched extremely well all season long, but you take a look at his last 4 games and he just gets stronger. He's given up only 5 earned runs in his last 25 innings, and the 2-2 pitch to Cobb, swing and a miss for strike 3, and there's 1 away. So 1 down, and that'll bring up Ethan Hott here in the top of the first inning. Walty's ERA over his last 4 starts, 1.80. 28 strikeouts and 2 walks in his previous 25 innings. So here's Ethan Hott to the plate. Hott batting .319 with 11 RBI on the season. First pitch from Walty misses for ball 1. Hott so far in the series, 3 for 9. He's hit in 6 straight games. And Walty's 1-0, and there it's a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Ethan Hott. Court McDonald waiting on deck. Just 1 change defensively for the Wildcats. Adonis Guzman back catching today. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. And Walty gets ahead 1-2 now on Hott. Guzman did not play Friday or Saturday. Got hurt in practice on Wednesday. Well, nothing major, just minor, but they held him out. Blake McDonald, fine job starting in the last 2 games. Here's the 1-2 to the plate, and that's a soft liner to the right side. On a hop, it's picked up by Caulfield. He throws to first for the out, and there's 2 down. That's a tough play for Garen Caulfield. Of course, he makes those all the time, ranging back into his left on just a little soft liner that he had to take on the outfield grass. And then, of course, he's, as a right-hander, you're really not, you can't get squared up to throw to first, but Caulfield's been so good, and Hott's retired, so 2 down now for Court McDonald. Just underway here, top of the first inning, and McDonald, first of the 4 left-handers that will hit for Stanford today, and he'll take a strike from Cam Walty. McDonald batting .333, 3 homers and 27 RBI. Walty set, and here comes the 0-1 now to the plate, and that's a strike at the knees. It's 0-2. McDonald 2 for 9 so far this weekend. He has struck out 3 times and has been in kind of a strikeout mode here, or maybe in his eyes a slump. Here's the 0-2 from Walty, missed inside, 1-2. McDonald has struck out 11 times in his last 6 games, twice on Friday and once last night. But leads Stanford in batting with that .333 average. And the 1-2 now from Walty is grounded to the right side. Caulfield scoops that one up. He'll fire to first for the out. 3 up and 3 down. Stanford scoreless in their first at-bat. The Wildcats coming up next. This is Arizona Baseball from Learfield. On to the bottom of the first inning here at High Corbett. Brendan Summerhill will lead it off for the Wildcats. Mason White and Garen Caulfield to follow. Wildcats have won the last 4 games against the Cardinal, and that dates back to the Pac-12 tournament in Scottsdale last year, and the non-conference game earlier this season over at Sunken Diamond, the 2 games here Friday and Saturday, the regular season series. And the Wildcats, over that stretch now, they have led in 29 of the last 30 innings against Stanford. And the Cardinal, that's one of the top programs, of course, not only in the Pac-12, but the West and in college baseball. And so anytime you can string together 4 straight wins, that's a good thing. One other note on that, the Wildcats have had 2 complete game performances in the last 4 games. Braden Zastro at the Pac-12 tournament last year. Now, granted, it was a run rule game, so we went 7 innings, but got the win in a complete game victory. And, of course, last night, Clark Candiotti going the 9 and getting the win as well. So game 3 here at High Corbett. Summerhill to lead it off, batting .328 with 6 home runs and 43 runs batted in. And facing Nick Dugan, sophomore from Eureka, who has been both a starter and reliever this year. He was mainly a starter early in the season, has come out of the bullpen a little more in the second half, and getting the start here today, his 8th of the year. And the first pitch to Summerhill, loves that first pitch, hits it high in the air to left field. Underneath it now is McDonald. He'll make the catch, and there's 1 away. So 1 down, and we move on to Mason White. And Stanford really hasn't had a steady Sunday starter all season long. In fact, they've had 5 different starters in their Sunday Pac-12 series this season. Dugan has been, used the most. This is his 4th start on a Sunday in the 8th series for Stanford, Pac-12 series. And his first pitch here to Mason White, across for strike 1. No score, bottom of the first. White batting .308, 14 homers, 54 runs batted in. He's had a hit in each of the first 2 games of this series. And Dugan delivers a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-2. Dugan got the start last year against Arizona in the final game of the series at Sunken Diamond. It was not a pleasant experience. Here's the 0-2 to White, and that bounced up there for a ball. It's 1-2. Dugan lasted 2 innings. He gave up 7 runs, all earned, including a home run to Chase Davis. That was that wild game, of course. The Wildcats desperately needed to win, and they did. Here's the 1-2 now to White, missed inside. And the count goes to 2-2. Dugan gave up 6 hits in that game, walked 1, struck out 3. Arizona won the ball game 21-20 in 10 innings. Here's the 2-2 to White, hit high in the air to right field. Reynolds looking and watching it sail foul, and the count remains 2-2. Here in Caulfield on deck. Dugan kind of lost that role, in that starting role, and his numbers of late have not been all that good. His last 3 starts have been against Oregon State, Oregon, and Cal. I should say last 3 appearances, not starts, but last 3 appearances as White takes ball 3. It's 3-2. And Dugan's given up 17 earned runs in the last 13 and a third innings. 9 walks, 9 strikeouts. Payoff pitch coming to Mason White, and here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 2 down. So 2 away now for Garen Caulfield here in the bottom of the first. After today, just 3 home games remain, and those 3 could be very meaningful. Oregon State will be here for the final weekend. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, as everybody will play a day early as they get set for the Pac-12 tournament up in Scottsdale. Oregon State favored to win the conference this year and very much in the race right now. They're playing at Pullman this afternoon. Caulfield hitting .333, leading the club in batting as he takes ball 1 outside from Nick Dugan. Garen with 4 home runs, 36 runs batted in. He has had himself a series this weekend. 5 for 9 at the plate, 3 RBI, 5 runs scored. 3 doubles and a triple for Caulfield, and the 1-0 pitch is grounded foul, third baseline, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Caulfield. 2 out, no score, bottom of the first. If Caulfield should reach, Emilio Corona waiting on deck for the Wildcats. So that wind continues to blow straight in from center, and I think we're going to have that all afternoon. Here's the 1-1 now from Dugan. Caulfield fouls it at the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. And every game is important to win, and you want to win at home. And you look at the final stretch here for the Wildcats. You look at the RPI of the teams that they play, and when you want to get to postseason play, and the Wildcats are headed there. Here's the 1-2 now to Caulfield, low and outside. It's 2-2. Stanford's RPI is the worst of the last 4 opponents. It's at 117. Then you've got ASU with an RPI of 88, Utah 63, Oregon State at 14. And so it gets tougher here as the season ends. The 2-2 to Caulfield bounced up there. It's a full count now at 3-2. So these games, you don't get as much credit. You get credit for winning it at home. You don't get as much at home and against a team with a RPI over 100. But more reason to want to win it. There's ball 4 to Caulfield. So the Wildcats have a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up Emilio Corona. No score here, bottom of the first. So it's not the sole reason Stanford has lost the first 2 games of this series, but just the same, some of the things that don't jump out when you look at the final score have affected the Cardinal this weekend. So let's take a look at these categories. Wild pitches. Stanford has thrown 7 through 2 games. The Arizona staff has thrown 1. Stanford's committed 3 errors. Arizona's committed 1. The Cardinal have now walked 13 batters. The Wildcats pitchers have walked 3. First one here to Corona down low for ball 1. And those things have an effect. Stanford's had 18 hits in this series so far, 15 singles, 3 extra base hits. The Wildcats have had 23 hits, 12 singles, 11 extra base hits. As Corona takes a strike, it's 1-1. And that's just another factor that has made the Wildcats a very good team this year, and it's hurt the Cardinal this weekend. 1 ball, 1 strike to Emilio Corona, and the pitch. Strike call, and it's 1-2. Corona batting .276, 6 home runs and 28 RBI. Emilio continuing to swing a good bat. 7-game hitting streak entering play tonight, or today. Here's the 1-2 pitch to him, way outside, and the count 2-2 on Corona. Darren Caulfield at first, 2 out, no score, bottom of the first. Corona 3 for 7 so far in the series. And Dugan set, and is 2-2 to the plate up high. Another full count. So if you heard our pregame interview with Chip Hale, we talked about trying to get Dugan out of the ball game and get to that bullpen. And although Cassius Thomas was very good last night, if you just look at the Stanford pen on the season, it's not been overly effective. And Dugan, a lot of pitches here in his first inning. The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We played 1, no score. This is Wildcat baseball from Learfield. Top of the second inning, middle 3 up for the Cardinal here. Malcolm Moore will lead it off. Then we'll see Jimmy Nat-Eye and Brandon Larson against Cam Walty. Walty threw 14 pitches in that first inning, 10 for strikes. The Wildcats are going to go with their 4-man outfield here against the left-handed hitting Malcolm Moore. And that means that Mason White is another outfielder as Moore hits it to right field. And Corona back on that one, and now looking for it, lost it in the sun, and the ball's going to fall. The throw to second base, but nobody's covering the bag. And so Moore is into second with an excuse me double. So a fly ball to right, and I think the wind pushed it a bit, and then at least it looked from here that Emilio Corona lost it in the sun, and we've got maybe a light cloud cover. I see some, I don't know what's directly above him or what he was looking into, but it just appeared he didn't see the ball. So it falls for a hit, and then Moore just kept on running. Nobody was at second, of course, because of the way the defense was aligned. So it'll be a leadoff double for Moore. And here's Jimmy Nat-Eye to the plate. And the first pitch from Walty is foul back for strike 1. So anyway, the Wildcats going to that 4-man outfield with Mason White out there. And it's been effective. Although that time, again, it probably should have been an out, but it doesn't happen. And now Walty's got a man on second with nobody out. And here comes his 0-1 pitch to the plate. Missed high, 1-1 now to Jimmy Nat-Eye, who's batting .324, 6 homers and 34 runs batted in. Nat-Eye 1 for 6 in the series. That one was a RBI double on Friday. Walty check a Moore at second, and the 1-1 to the plate. Check swing called a strike. And the count goes to 1-2 on Nat-Eye. Brandon Larson on deck for Stanford here in the top of the second inning. But I was going to go back to that first inning when Walty threw just 14 pitches, 10 for strikes, and you compare it to Clark Candiotti last night, who threw 13 pitches in the first inning, 9 for strikes. So great start here for Walty, and his 1-2 to the plate is a ground ball towards Mason White, and Moore will have to hold at second. The throw to first in time for the out. There's one away. So just what Walty wanted to see there, a ground ball out. 1 down now for Brandon Larson. No score, top of the second. Larson DHing today for the Cardinal. He had been their starting first baseman on Friday and Saturday. Had a career game on Friday. 4 hits, all singles, drove in 2 runs. And then, as baseball will do to you, he goes 0 for 3 last night with a strikeout. Larson bats left against the righty Walty. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Larson batting .284 with 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Mason White kind of shadowing Malcolm Moore as Moore takes his lead off second base. Walty will look back. The pitch, swing and a miss. Count 1-1. Now Walty, like Candiotti last night, Candiotti's changeup very good last night. Walty's looked good with that pitch here today so far. 1-1 the count to Larson. And here's the pitch, and it misses low. 2-1 the count to Brandon Larson. Sophomore out of Rockland, California, transfer from UC San Diego. Hit 9 home runs last year for UC San Diego. This is his first season at Stanford. The 2-1, that's pop foul left side. Nikolakis giving it a look, well back into the seats. Count even now at 2-2 on Brandon Larson. And really until recently, of course, Stanford, because of its academic requirements, they didn't take a lot of transfers. And so in any sport, Larson one of those, and here's the 2-2 pitch to him, and that's a shot into left field for a base hit. Moore is going to be waved around third. Up with the ball is Adams. The throw will go to second, and Stanford takes a 1-0 lead. RBI single for Brandon Larson, his 17th run batted in. So now with 1 out and a runner at first base, Trevor Haskins to the plate for the Cardinal. Haskins hitting .299, 6 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Bats right, and Walty delivers. Foul back for strike 1. Haskins 1 for 6 so far this weekend. Single in last night's ball game. Struck out twice on Friday. The pitch, ground ball right side. That's scooped up by Splain. He's going to go to second, but not in time. Nobody was at the bag, and everybody's safe. Oh boy. So Splain looking to get the lead runner. However, Mason White was not able to get to the bag. He took the throw wide of the second base bag and knew he wasn't going to be able to get Larson, so then he threw the first, but not in time. And so Haskins is safe, and now 2 on for the Cardinal. And Chip Hale out to the mound, and this is nothing to do with Walty right now. I think he's just saying, hey guys, let's make sure we've got everything in order here. And you can just tell not exactly how the Wildcats wanted to start defensively here. That was just that doesn't go as an error. It's just a miscue. We talked about some of the things that Stanford has done this weekend that have not fared in their favor, and there's one for the Wildcats. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Haskins. Larson to second, so 2 on now for Brady Reynolds. 1-0 Cardinal. And Reynolds batting .229 to the plate, and hits one foul down the right field line for strike 1. Reynolds, in his first start of the series, was a pinch hitter inside corner. It's 0-2. Reynolds has not seen a lot of playing time of late, just 2 of his last 15 at the plate. 0-2, grounded right side. That's going to get through for a base hit. Larson going to be waved around third. Here comes the throw from Corona. That'll go through, but offline, and sliding in safely with the Cardinals' second run of the inning is Brandon Larson. So 2-0 Stanford on an RBI single by Brady Reynolds, his 13th run batted in. So 3 hits in the inning now for the Cardinal. Haskins will go to second on the play. And Timo Becerra, the 9-hitter, up here for the Cardinals. So kind of a crazy inning here. You got the bloop double by Moore to get it started. Single by Larson brings in a run, and then the fielder's choice to Haskins. Here's the first pitch to Becerra in there for strike one. In what could have been a double play, it turns into no outs and 2 on, and now the Cardinal take advantage of that with Reynolds' RBI single. Becerra batting .206 at the plate. 0-1 the count. And Walty delivers in there for strike 0-2. So really, I'm not saying, Walty's given up 3 hits here, but at the same time, one of them probably shouldn't have been a hit, and he might be out of this inning. Here's the 0-2. Curveball hit in the air to right field. Corona over near the line. He is there to make the catch. Tagging at second will be Haskins. He'll go to third. 2 out in the inning. Reynolds will hold at first base. So we go to the top of the order now in Owen Cobb. 2-0 Stanford. Cobb struck out to open the ball game, and he's been arguably their hottest hitter. 11-game hitting streak. 11 of his last, including today, 11 of his last 25 at the plate. He does lead the team in strikeouts, and Walty delivers right down the middle for strike one. Cobb has struck out 38 times this year, including in the top of the first today. One of the veterans on a young team. Cobb playing his 138th game, and the pitch to him missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Owen Cobb. Ethan Hott on deck here in the top of the second inning. Cobb leads the team in base hits, leads the team in strikeouts. That's kind of a mixed bag, I guess. The pitch by Walty, swing and a miss. Fastball at 90, and the count goes to 1-2. Infield back here with 2 down. Cobb bats right. Mikalakis guarding the line back of the third base bag. Here's a 1-hopper down to White. Nice pickup. Turns, fires to first for the out, and the inning is over. 2 runs on 3 hits, and 2 men left. So we go to the bottom of the second. Stanford 2, Arizona nothing. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Bottom of the second inning, Maddox Mikalakis will lead it off for the Wildcats. Then we'll see Adonis Guzman and Andrew Kane. 2-0 Cardinal. Mikalakis batting .270 on the season, but since he moved into that starting role at third base due to the injury to Richie Morales, Mikalakis batting .341 over his last 10 games. And he's driven in 13 runs, 3 hits this weekend, a couple doubles on Friday. Single in last night's game. And the first pitch from Nick Dugan is across for strike one to Mikalakis. So the Wildcats, who had not trailed, did not trail obviously in last night's ball game to Stanford. Here's the 0-1 to Mikalakis, across for strike 2, and it's 0-2. And never trailed in the game on Friday as well in the 12-8 victory. 0-2. Mikalakis takes it low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cats on Friday. I mean, Arizona jumped out 1-0, 3-1, 5-2. Stanford did tie the game at 5-5, but never got the lead. The 1-2 pitch fouled off left side. It remains 1-2 on Mikalakis. Stanford closed within 1 on Friday night. It was 9-8, and the Wildcats added some insurance there to win at 12-8, and then the 5-0 shutout win last night. Ball and 2 strikes on Maddox Mikalakis. Just a delay here. That foul ball rolled all the way down the left field line into the corner there, and since nobody is in the Stanford bullpen, they had to wait for somebody to come out of the dugout to go get the ball. Mikalakis takes strike 3 called on the inside corner, and there's 1 away. 3rd strikeout now for Nick Dugan. Adonis Guzman now to the plate. 2-0 Stanford, bottom of the second. Guzman batting .304, home run 16 runs batted in. First action of the weekend after that minor practice injury on Wednesday. Guzman back in his spot behind the plate. Not batting cleanup, and I think a lot of that just because he didn't play the last couple of games. The 1-0 pitch to him, foul back. It's 1-1. Sophomore out of Valley College, New York. One to the plate. Guzman takes it high, and it goes to 2-1. Wildcats' depth has been tested here the last few weeks, and it's been a passing grade. That includes Blake McDonald, who started the last 2 games behind home plate. The 2-1 pitch to Guzman, swing and a miss. 2-2. McDonald, who's also been the DH in a couple of ball games, he has hit the ball very well. Here's the 2-2 outside, full count now, 3-2 on Adonis Guzman. Easton Breifogel, who's been out now for 5 straight games, and TJ Adams does an excellent job out in left field. Here's the 3-2, low and away, ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Dugan. So he's got 3 strikeouts and 2 walks here. Break up Andrew Kane. Wildcats will be in Phoenix on Tuesday night. Take on Arizona State, non-conference game. 6:30 first pitch. We'll be on the air at 6:20 from Muni. So if you're going to head that way or are in the area, I invite you to come on by. First pitch here to Kane down low. Andrew batting .288, 2 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Kane 1 for 8 this weekend. Drove in 2 runs on Friday with a double. Guzman held on at first, and the pitch, swing and a miss. Kane way out in front. Change up at 77. Ball and a strike, the count on Andrew Kane. Tommy Splain on deck. Dugan working from the stretch. Pitch to the plate, and it's Luke Fowl left side out of play. The count goes to 1-2 on Andrew Kane. So we will do some scoreboard watching. Arizona entering the game, 2 games up on Oregon and Utah. They are underway in Eugene, and the Utes got a run in the top of the first. 1-2 pitch here is down low. 2-2 now to Kane. And in a strange way, we can root for Utah today. And I say that because Arizona's already played Oregon this year, and the Wildcats lost 2 of 3 to the Ducks. So Oregon owns the tiebreaker should they end up in a tie here at the end of the regular season. The Cats play Utah this next weekend. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Up with it is Cobb. He'll toss to second for 1. Back to first in time for the double play, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We played 2 here at High Corbett. Stanford 2, Arizona nothing. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Top of the 3rd inning. Ethan Hott, Court McDonald, Malcolm Moore to bat for Stanford against Cam Walty. A 2-0 lead for the Cardinal. Hott grounded out his first time up today. So Hott so far in the series, after his ground out earlier, he is now 3 for 10. And Walty set for his first pitch here in the 3rd. And it's taken for strike 1. Well, it's Sunday, so a lot of series wrapping up, not only in the Pac-12 but around the country, and we'll update you on some scores. One of note, I think, that is of interest. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Hott. Down in Baton Rouge, the defending national champion LSU Tigers, and they're having a good year, not like last season. They're 5 games under 500 in SEC play. But LSU has won the first 2 games in their series with #1 ranked Texas A&M this weekend, both by scores of 6-4, and the Tigers out to a 3-1 lead, top of the 5th today, looking to sweep the #1 team in the nation. Here's the 0-2, and that is just outside. Boy, Guzman even thought that was strike 3. He was ready to throw down to 3rd. Has a look back at Mike Lusky, the home plate umpire. Oh, it's ball 1, 1-2 the count. The pitch from Walty is a ground ball. Oh, snagged by Walty. How did he catch that? Underhands over to first, and there's one away. Wow. That was a one-hopper, and Walty's glove was right where it needed to be, almost resting on his leg there. So Hott retired. One down now for Court McDonald. That's one of those where if you're the fielder, and in that place, Cam Walty, you look like, yeah, I knew exactly where it was going. Great play. Ball 1 to McDonald. One down, bases empty. Cardinal up 2-0 here in the third, and the pitch, and that one is hit out towards left. That'll fall for a base hit. So McDonald with a single. 4th hit of the day now for Stanford. And now here's Malcolm Moore, and let's see. With a runner on, they will not go to the 4-man outfield here because possibility of a double play, but they will put the shift on here against the left-handed hitting Moore. So Mason White shifting over to the right side of the second base bag, and Caulfield will back up here, not onto the outfield grasses yet. Moore with that bloop double last inning to lead off, and he'll take ball 1 outside. Well, Chip Hale, we talked to him twice about Malcolm Moore, and even though Moore's batting average this season hovering around 250 is not where it's been, but he has 13 home runs and 30 RBI and a throw to first to chase McDonald back to the bag. Moore last year, remember, against the Wildcats had 2 home runs and a double at Sunken Diamond. Drove in 6 runs in that series. Pitch to him here, low and inside, and the count 2-0. Moore's had a hit in the 3 games here so far. He had a single on Friday, single last night, and again that bloop double to lead off the second inning, and later came around to score on Brandon Larson's base hit. Walty's 2-0 to the plate, ground ball right back to Walty. He's going to throw to White for 1, back to first, double play, and the inning is over. So both teams have turned a double play, and the Wildcats out of the third here. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third. Stanford 2, Arizona nothing. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Bottom of the third inning, and Tommy Splain will lead it off for the Cats. Then we'll see TJ Adams and Brendan Summerhill. Today's home run sponsor, Radiology Limited, invites you to see what's inside. If you have questions about your health or experiencing undiagnosed pain, talk to your doctor about how medical imaging can help you find the answers you need. At Radiology Limited, we take care of those closest to you. Tommy Splain batting .240 with 5 homers, 22 RBI to lead it off here against Nick Dugan. And the first pitch to Splain is taken outside for ball 1. So Dugan last weekend against Cal pitched 1 game of relief on Sunday, 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits. This is low and away for ball 2 to Splain. His last start was on April 21st against Oregon. Gave up 5 runs on 8 hits in 3 2/3 in that game. 2-0 pitch now to Splain. Strike call. And it's 2-1. He pitched relief in the 4 games prior to that Oregon start. His 2-1 here. Cross for a strike. 2-2 now to Tommy Splain. Dugan has, uses all 4 of his pitches. We haven't seen what we'd call an overpowering fastball as yet today. Here's the 2-2 to Splain. Strike 3 call. That fastball at 90. That is the 4th strikeout now for Dugan. He hasn't allowed a hit. He's walked 2. So 1 out here in the third. TJ Adams to the plate. 2-0 Stanford. Adams batting .324. Dugan delivers in there for strike one. Adams 3 for 6 so far in the series. Triple on Friday, a double in last night's game. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So the Wildcats getting Guzman back today after sitting out the first 2 games of the series. Adams playing for Breifogel. And no update on Breifogel in terms of his potential return there. Chip indicates they think they'll get Richie Morales back for the Utah series. As Adams takes ball 2 outside, it's 2-2. But as I mentioned, when you take a look at what some of these guys that maybe hadn't been, in the normal rotation of field players have done, like Adams, it's really been remarkable. Here's the 2-2 now to Adams, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Dugan's got something going today. He has struck out 5, 2 out here in the third. Go to the top of the order now, and Brendan Summerhill. Well, see now, everybody's had one at-bat against Dugan. Summerhill on the first pitch he saw today, which he likes to take a swing at, fly ball out to left. So Summerhill up for the second time now against Dugan. And the first pitch puts a bunt down third baseline, and a good one, but it's going to roll foul. Well, if it would have stayed on the grass, I think he had a chance there, but it just kind of started to turn, and Massera, the third baseman, could see that, watched it roll foul before he scooped it up. So 0-1 now on Brendan Summerhill. 2 out, bases empty here in the third. The Wildcats down 2-0. Wind has been blowing in. It's going to stay a windy afternoon, and so those fly balls to the outfield are not going to go very far. You can tell by where the Cardinal have positioned their defense here as the next pitch bounces right by Moore to the backstop to count 1-1 on Summerhill. In particular, now you've got a left-hander at the plate, so you knew that McDonald, the left fielder, would not play all that deep, but he has come in very shallow and hot, playing in a few steps in center. Reynolds in right today, playing about normal depth, and here's a line shot right at Cobb, the second baseman, for out number 3. So the Wildcats retired in order. We go to the 4th. Stanford 2, Arizona nothing. This is Wildcat baseball from Learfield. Top of the 4th, and Stanford will lead it off with Jimmy Natai, and then Brandon Larson and Trevor Haskins. 2-0 in favor of the Cardinal. 2 runs on 4 hits. Natai grounded out his first time against Walty today. Natai, who started the first 2 games in right field, at first base today defensively for the Cardinal, takes a strike at the knees. So 0-1. Walty just throwing his 46th pitch. 34 for strikes. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. Cam, like all the Wildcats, just outstanding in terms of limiting walks. He's only walked 10 batters in 61 innings this season. Pitch here outside, and the count goes to 1-2. If you look at the Pac-12 stats, Walty's 3rd in the league in fewest walks allowed. Number 2 in the league in ERA. 1-2 here. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch. Natai down looking. Second strikeout for Walty today. 1 down now for Brandon Larson. I mean, it's a testament to this staff. If you heard our pregame interview with Clark Candiotti, we talked about the staff in general, but you look at the Pac-12 earned run average stats entering play today. Grant Cunningham, the reliever from Washington, has the lowest ERA. Walty's is 2nd. Jackson Kent is 3rd, and Candiotti is 4th. Ball 1 to Larson, who singled and scored. Drove in the first run of the ball game. That was in the 2nd inning. Takes ball 2 here from Walty, and the count 2-0. White in the 2-0 to the plate, and that's in there for a strike. Fastball at 91 from Walty. So the count 2-1 now on Brandon Larson. 1 out. Bases empty here, top of the 4th, 2-0 Stanford. Walty's 2-1 to the plate, and that's driven out towards right. That's going to fall for a base hit. And so Larson, who had a great game here on Friday, 4 hits, then hitless last night, now 2 for 2 today. And he's at first now for Trevor Haskins. 5th hit on the afternoon for the Cardinal. Haskins reached on a kind of a crazy fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. In what looked like a potential double play. Didn't work. And like I said, if you just take a look at the statistics, you see Walty's given up 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, but easily could have been out of the 2nd inning, maybe with no runs scored. Here's the 1-0. Runner going is fouled off. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Trevor Haskins. Haskins grounded a ball down to Splain with the runner at first, and Splain trying to get a double play started, through to second, but Mason White hadn't gotten the bag yet. And White knew he wasn't going to be able to get Larson, and so he immediately threw back to first. But then Haskins had beat the throw. So 2 on, and then, of course, Brady Reynolds follows with an RBI single. Here's the 1-1 up high. 2-1 to Haskins. So we mentioned the ERA stats, and then you look at the strikeout statistics in the Pac-12 right now. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Quick throw down to first, but back in time is Larson. 2-2 the count on Trevor Haskins. So Matt Scott, who was the starter here on Friday for Stanford and took the loss, he leads the league with 91 strikeouts. Grant Taylor from Washington State is second with 85. Jackson Kent third with 78. Pitch here, hit in the air, foul down the right field line. That'll get out of play, and it remains 2-2 now on Haskins. Candiotti is 4th in the league in strikeouts with 77. And Walty now with 57 in the top 15. He needs, if he strikes out 6 today, he would move into the top 10 in strikeouts. Here's the 2-2 to the plate. That's lifted in the air to center field. Summerhill moving in. Of course, that wind pushing the ball in. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 down. Larson remains at first base. So 2 away now for Brady Reynolds. Wildcat fans, get ready for another rockin' season with a better tasting, healthier protein beverage. Rockin' Protein, official protein beverage of Arizona Athletics. So as mentioned, Reynolds knocked in the 2nd run for the Cardinal with a single in the 2nd inning. Stanford up 2-0. 2 out here in the 4th with Larson at first base. Reynolds bats left against the righty Cam Walty. And Walty's first pitch, that's hit in the air to left field. Adams having to come in on that again, fighting the wind. Still coming in, making the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Stanford 2, Arizona nothing. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield.
Shortstop, number 24,
Mason White to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Then we'll see Garen Caulfield, Emilio Corona. Well, Nick Dugan's had kind of a mixed bag. He hasn't given up a hit yet. He's walked 2. He struck out 5. This will be his 50th pitch as we start out the bottom of the 4th. And Mason White will ground it foul right side for strike 1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Cardinal. No runs, no hits for the Wildcats. Again, the Cats have had 2 base runners. One of them erased on the double play that ended the 2nd. Dugan checks the pitch comm, and here comes his 0-1, and White takes it low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mason White, who so far in this series, well, here's the pitch, 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. White has 1 run batted in, He had been the RBI leader in the Pac-12, but Gavin Turley from Oregon State has taken over that with 56, White with 54, and he bounces one foul right side. 1-2 on Mason White. White third in the league in home runs behind Travis Zana of Oregon State and Jacob Walsh of Oregon. Zana is 21. Walsh was 17. Here's a ground ball to the right side, and it's off the glove of Cobb. White is going to beat the throw to first, and the Cats have their leadoff man on board here in the fourth. Cobb to his right, looking to backhand that ground ball, and it bounced off his glove. It rolled towards second base. Cobb was able to recover, but White beat the throw. So the Wildcats get their leadoff man on board here. Be a base hit for Mason White. First hit of the day for the Cats. And here's Garen Caulfield to the plate. Caulfield batting .333 and lifts the first pitch foul out of play right side for strike one. In fact, the leading hitters for both teams, both batting .333 and are in play today. Caulfield for the Wildcats and Court McDonald for the Cardinal. Here's the 0-1, and Caulfield takes it down low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals suspecting maybe a bunt here. Now, of course, Caulfield, a right-handed hitter, and so Nat-I playing first base has to hold White on. Becerra at third, up about a step in front of the bag. Middle infield double play depth. Pitch to Caulfield, hit in the air to right. On the run is Reynolds. He is there to make the catch. And Mason White will scramble back to first. There's one away. That'll bring up Emilio Corona. Cats in Phoenix on Tuesday, 6:30 to take on ASU, and the next weekend at Utah. It's a different schedule because the Utes in Salt Lake City Bees share a stadium. So we're going to play morning baseball on Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. first pitch both days. The Bees have home games that night, and then they flip on Sunday. The Bees will play in the afternoon. The Wildcats will play at night on Sunday, and that'll be at 6 o'clock Arizona time Sunday night. Emilio Corona struck out to end the first inning. 2-0 Cardinal. We're in the fourth. Dugan delivers. Corona takes a breaking ball for a strike, and the count 0-1. Emilio riding a 7-game hitting streak. He has surpassed 100 career hits here this weekend in a Wildcat uniform, and takes one just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Emilio Corona, senior from San Luis Obispo, California. His last 14 games now, he's batting .407. The pitch from Dugan, swing and a miss. Count 1-2. I think both coaches would like to, preserve their bullpen. So I'm sure they're both hoping that their starters can give them 6 or 7 today. The 1-2 pitch here to Corona, lifted in the air to short right field. In comes Reynolds, and that ball's going to fall. White around second. He's headed for third. Corona into second, and the Wildcats will have runners at second and third with 1 away. Well, you could see that was going to be tough, that wind blowing in, and Reynolds couldn't get there, and then Cobb, the second baseman, going out, couldn't make the catch. So Mikalakis now could tie this game with a base hit. Mason White, who had a pretty good look at that one, knew he had a chance to get to third, and Corona, who's got great speed, just kept on going to second. So it'll be a double for Corona. Now an opportunity here for the Wildcats to get on the board. 2 hits in the inning, and there's a ground ball to the right side. They'll score a run. Cobb up with it. He'll throw to first for the out. In to score Mason White. It's a 2-1 Stanford lead. Corona will go to third. So Mikalakis will pick up his 26th RBI. Adonis Guzman to the plate. Well, there's of course that double by Corona, another extra base hit for the Wildcats. It's been their story here this weekend. Now Guzman looking for a 2-out base hit, and he sprays the first pitch foul out of play down the right field line for strike one. Two to one Stanford. Tying run at third with 2 out. Guzman batting .304. The pitch, and that's popped up right side. Who's going to catch it now? Cobb into foul territory, can't make the catch. And that'll keep Guzman and the Wildcats alive here in the bottom of the fourth. And that wind is going to play havoc today, and that just kept pushing the ball further into foul territory. And by the time Cobb got over, tried to make a sliding catch, it was out of his reach. So 0-2 on Guzman. Andrew Kane on deck. Guzman batting .298 with 2 outs. He's been very good with runners in scoring position this year. And the 0-2 pitch to him, missed outside. Dugan trying to get him to chase one out. Count goes to 1-2. Corona third. A run in. Dugan's 1-2 to the plate. Taken outside. Good high there. Wow, Guzman, that was a tough pitch to lay off. And he did just that. It's 2-2. Dugan with a courtesy look over at Corona. The pitch, grounded foul, third baseline. And it remains 2-2 on Adonis Guzman. Cats with an infield single from Mason White. Double from Corona. Ground out, RBI ground out by Mikalakis. Now Guzman trying to get this game tied up. Adonis has got a home run, 16 RBI. The 2-2 to the plate. Ground ball to the left side. That's going to be a tough play. Backhanded by Haskins. His long throw to first in time for the out. And the inning is over. But the Wildcats get a run on 2 hits. They leave 1. We played 4 here at High Corbett. It's Stanford 2, Arizona 1. This is Wildcat baseball from Learfield. Top of the 5th. Wildcats break through in the bottom of the 4th. So now a 1-1 game. And Timo Becerra will lead it off here for the Cardinal in the top of the 5th. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Cardinal. A run, 2 hits for the Wildcats. Becerra fly ball out his first time against Cam Walty today. Walty's thrown 60 pitches through 4 innings. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Walty's first pitch here in the 5th, low and away, ball 1. Becerra, junior out of Clovis, California. And the 1-0 pitch to him is ripped right to Mikalakis at third for out number 1. Oh, beautiful reaction there by Maddox Mikalakis. Robbing Becerra of a hit, probably extra bases down the line. So put a star on that one. 1 away here in the 5th. Now we'll go to the top of the order and Owen Cobb. Taco Bell, proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Taco Bell, locally owned and operated. Liv Moss. Cobb 0 for 2 today. He's hit in 11 straight games. Takes a strike from Cam Walty. Ethan Hott to follow here in the top of the 5th. Walty's 0-1 to the plate. Foul back over our head. Towards the parking lot. Had a nice car show this morning here at High Corbett Field. A variety of customized vehicles out there. Love to see the work they do on those. Here's a curveball. It's grounded down to Mikalakis. Short hop. Nice pickup. Fires across. Not in time. As Cobb will beat it out. Cobb's got enough speed. Well, Mikalakis made the only play he could there. And just give Cobb credit. He beat it out. So a 1-out infield single. That'll extend Cobb's hitting streak now to 12 games. And that brings up Ethan Hott. 2-1 Stanford. We're in the 5th. Hott is 0 for 2 at the plate today. Walty out of the stretch, delivers, and that's line to right for a base hit. Cobb stops at second, and so the Cardinal now with 2 on here for Court McDonald. So McDonald base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Has 4 hits. Check that, 3 hits here in the series. 7 hits today for Stanford. Walty with a check of Cobb at second, and the first pitch in there for strike 1 to McDonald. Now Malcolm Moore on deck, so this is a big spot here for Cam Walty. Needless to say, a double play would be in perfect order. The Wildcats have turned 1 today. The pitch by Walty is down low. Guzman with a nice stop there. The count goes to 1-1. McDonald again the leading hitter average wise for the Cardinal this season. Bats left against the righty Walty. Spins, throws back to second, and Cobb gets back to the base in time. McDonald has hit into 3 double plays this year. Walty from the stretch, again a look back at Cobb, and here's the pitch to the plate. It's a chopper to the right side, gloved by Caulfield. He'll tag the runner for 1, throw to first in time, double play, just what the doctor ordered, and the inning is over. Second 1 turn by the Wildcats this afternoon, and the Cardinal done here in the top of the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Stanford 2, Arizona 1. This is Wildcat baseball from Learfield. Bottom of the 5th inning, bottom 3 in the Arizona order. Andrew Kane, Tommy Splain, and TJ Adams to face Nick Dugan. Shout out the Wildcats for the first 3 innings, and then Mason White got things started in the bottom of the 4th with an infield single. The Wildcats got a run across, so it's a 2-1 Stanford lead. Kane hit into a double play to end the 2nd. He'll lead it off here in the 5th. Dugan, the sophomore out of Eureka. Out of the windup, here comes his first pitch of the 5th, and it's down low for ball 1. Other games around the Pac-12, everybody playing today. In Eugene today, Oregon and Utah wrapping up their series, and the Utes have a 4-2 lead, bottom of the 4th. There's the 1-0 pitch now to Kane. Miss low, 2-0. USC and California tied at 2-2, top of the 4th. Oregon State has taken a 1-0 lead on Washington State, top of the 1st in Pullman. And Washington out to a 2-0 lead on ASU, top of the 1st in Phoenix. Strike to Kane. And the count 2-1. No report yet on Cal State Fullerton and UCLA. That's an interesting series. They're playing 3 games at 3 different stadiums this weekend. Kane takes it outside. Count 3-1. The Titans and Bruins played Friday at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. Yesterday, they moved to the Titans home field in Fullerton. Here's the 3-1 now to Kane in there for strike 3-2. And now today they're at the Bruins home field, Jackie Robinson. Payoff pitch now to Kane. Here it is, hit in the air to center field. Back on that one is Hot, and there to make the catch. And there's 1 down. So 1 away for Tommy Splain here in the bottom of the 5th. If you need a reputable home service company, Parker & Sons won the BBB Torch Award for ethics for all your heating, AC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Bear down and call Parker. Cats and Cardinal wrapping up their series here in Tucson. Arizona winning the first 2 games 12-8 and 5-0. Stanford leading here 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out for Tommy Splain. And the first pitch from Dugan fouled off for strike 1. Well, one of the goals today was to force Nick Dugan to throw a lot of pitches. He didn't early on, although the Wildcats got to some full counts. Dugan now at 77 pitches unofficially in his 0-1. Splain grounds it to the right side. That'll be a tough play for Cobb. Up with it on the outfield grass. Fires to first and gets him. And there's 2 down. Cobb having to range to his left, back onto the outfield grass, so 2 down now. And that will bring up TJ Adams. 2-1 Stanford. Check the major league scores as we can today. Raining in New York, but the Yankees and Tigers playing middle of the 8th. New York up 5-2 on Detroit. The other New York team, the Mets, playing indoors in Tampa and leading the Rays 5-4. Top of the 8th. Pitch here to Adams, fouled off. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mariners 3, Astros 2. Mid-7, that's in Houston. Red Sox lead the Twins 3-1, top of the 8th. White Sox in front of the Cardinals 5-1, top of the 8th. Ball 2 to Adams. The count goes to 2-1. Cubs blanking the Brewers through 7, 4-0. 2-1 pitch to the plate, and that's a strike on the outside corner. 2-2 now to Adams. Jays lead the Nats 6-2, top of the 4th. Royals 1, Rangers 0, bottom of the 3rd. Marlins out to a 1-0 lead on the A's, top of the 1st in Oakland. Pitch here, low and away. 3-2 now on Adams. Orioles and Reds just underway. Same with the Padres and the Braves. Or check that, Padres and the Angels. Here's the 3-2. And that's hit in the air to right. Back on that one is Reynolds, still going back. It's over his head, goes all the way to the wall. Adams, who can fly. He's headed for second and making the turn, trying for a triple. Here's the throw to third. He slides, he's safe. A 2-out triple for TJ Adams. Another extra base hit for the Wildcats, and wow, has that been big this week, and we'll see if this one pays off. Be the 13th extra base hit for the Cats here in this series. Adams with tremendous speed, and he saw that ball get over Reynolds' head and go to the wall down near the 349 marker, and so he just kept on going. So now Brendan Summerhill looking for a 2-out hit here. Becerra's going to come in, the third baseman, in case Summerhill tries to drop a bunt down. Dugan's first pitch, Summerhill not showing bunt, and he'll take ball 1. For TJ Adams, that's his 3rd double of the year, or triple, I should say, 3rd triple of the season. The Wildcats have 23 triples this year, and Summerhill takes a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Arizona leads the league in triples and top 10 in the nation in that department. 1-1 to Summerhill. Ground ball to the right side. Cobb will scoop it up, and he'll throw to first for the out, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, 5 innings complete here at High Corbett. It's Stanford 2, Arizona 1. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Top of the 6th inning, and the middle 3 due up here for the Stanford Cardinal, and that means Malcolm Moore will lead it off, and the Wildcats with nobody on base, they'll go to their 4-man outfield here against Malcolm Moore. Moore with a bloop double to lead off the 2nd, and that turned into the first run. He grounds it down to Splain. It goes under his glove out into right field, and Moore will reach to lead off the 6th inning. Ground ball hit right at Tommy Splain, and it just went right under his glove between his legs out into right field. And so, you know, Malcolm Moore has been on twice today, and no offense to him, he's an outstanding player and everything, but it's been a little luck. That double he had in the 2nd was a ball that I think Corona kind of lost in the sun, and now here's an error to allow Moore to reach here in the 6th. And Jimmy Nadai to the plate. And the first pitch is popped up. Left side, Mikalakis making the call in foul territory, and will make the catch, and there's 1 down. Well, if you heard Chip Hale mention it, that Malcolm Moore doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. Well, he did there. And that's why they put the shift on. They put the 4-man outfield, because he usually hits the ball in the air. Well, he gets on base, and that's what it's all about. So Moore at first with one away. Brandon Larson to the plate. And Walty's first pitch to Larson. Big swing and a miss. And the count 0-1. Larson 2 for 2 today. Keep in mind that he had 4 hits on Friday. And the pitch fouled off left side. And it's 0-2 on Larson. So 6 for 10 so far this weekend for Brandon Larson. Oh, 0-2. Walty from the stretch, and the pitch. Miss low. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Larson. Trevor Haskins on deck. Top of the 6th, Stanford with a 2-1 lead. Walty from the belt. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Big one there, 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Cam Walty on the afternoon. That'll bring up Trevor Haskins. So Walty is just over 70 pitches now. He had a last inning, the top of the 5th. Even though the Cardinal had 2 hits, it was just a 9-pitch inning for Walty. His first one here to Haskins, missed outside. And you compare that to Nick Dugan, who's now at 85 pitches through 5 innings. One 1-0 on Haskins, who's 0 for 2 today. And the pitch. Strike called, and the count 1-1. Quick update on those major league scores. I think I misread. The Padres and Diamondbacks are playing up in Phoenix today, and D-backs out to a 2-0 lead. There's the 1-1 to the plate outside, 2-1. That game in the bottom of the 1st. Braves and Dodgers bottom 1. LA out to a 2-0 lead there. And a couple of finals today. The Pirates beat the Rockies 5-3, and the Guardians over the Angels 4-1. Pitch here, hit in the air to left. Back on that one, Adams circling underneath it near the track there to haul it in for out number 3, and the inning is over. So the error does not cost the Wildcats any damage. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Stanford 2, Arizona 1. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Bottom 6, Mason White will lead it off for the Wildcats, and then we'll see Garen Caulfield and Emilio Corona. A 2-1 Stanford lead. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Cardinal. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Wildcats. Arizona has left 3 men on base. Stanford has stranded 5. Mason White today is 1 for 2. So the Cat shortstop to face Nick Dugan for the 3rd time. And here comes his first pitch. And White will take it outside for ball 1. Stanford will get some work going down in the bullpen. It was pitch number 86 for Dugan. Next one to White in their first strike, and the count 1-1. The Cardinal on Friday used 5 pitchers, just 2 last night. Here's the 1-1 now to Mason White, swing and a miss. And the count 1-2. And so Cassius Thomas not available today. He threw 59 pitches out of the pen last night and pitched well. Here's the 1-2 outside. 2-2 now to Mason White. And the Wildcats, thanks to Clark Candiotti, got that early lead and got a couple insurance runs late. Here's a looper out towards center, in on it, and falling in front of Hott for a base hit. Mason White leads off the 6th inning, so he has led off the 4th and the 6th with a single. And here's Garen Caulfield to the plate. 4th hit of the day for the Cats. They were shut out for the first 3 innings. Scored a run on 2 hits in the 4th. A 2-out triple last inning, and now a leadoff single for Mason White here to start the 6th. And Garen Caulfield to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Stanford with the 2-1 lead. Cats with the tying run on base and nobody out. And Dugan working out of the stretch. First pitch to Caulfield, misses high for ball 1. Outfield straight away, infield looking for 2. Wildcats have turned 2 double plays today. Stanford has turned 1. And there goes White. The pitch is outside. The throw down to second is not in time. That throw just wide of the bag. That allowed Mason to go in head first. Stolen base number 5 for Mason White. And let's see, does Dave Esker want to challenge the call? He is out of the dugout, headed to talk to Mike Lusky, the home plate umpire, and looks like they will challenge it. So it will be our first challenge of the day. The umpires will talk it over first, and then they'll go to the video, and we'll update you on the other scores around the Pac-12. Right? Well, one other score outside the Pac-12, because I brought it up earlier that top-ranked Texas A&M had lost the first 2 games of their series at LSU. And the Tigers got out to a 3-0 lead today, but the Aggies put up a 9 spot in the top of the 5th. So A&M leading LSU 9-3 right now, bottom of the 6th inning in Baton Rouge. Over to the Pac-12, bottom of the 5th, and it's Utah 4, Oregon 2. Elsewhere around the Pac, California leading USC 4-2, top of the 5th inning. Oregon State out to a 4-0 lead now over Washington State. And the Beavers still batting in the, check that, they finished the top of the 1st, so they've gone to the bottom of the 1st. Oregon State 4, Washington State nothing. And Washington scored 4 in the top of the 1st at ASU. And that game now in the bottom of the 1st inning. And still to come, Cal State Fullerton and UCLA. Here in Tucson, 2-1 Stanford with the lead. And the Cardinal challenging the play at second on Mason White's steal attempt. If successful, again, his 5th of the year, would also be the Wildcats' 42nd stolen base of the season. And they've already surpassed, last year when they stole 37, the year before 33, the year before that 31. And he is safe. So the Cardinal lose the challenge. Stolen base for Mason White. So that puts the tying run at second now for Caulfield. Nobody out. 2-0 the count on Aaron Caulfield. Emilio Corona waiting on deck. Dugan with a look back at White. And the pitch to Caulfield. Swing and a miss for strike 1. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander working in the bullpen for the Cardinal. Caulfield's had a great weekend at the plate. Here's the 2-1 pitch to him and takes a strike. It's 2-2. Caulfield with 5 hits, 3 doubles and a triple. He's driven in 3. He's scored 5. The 2-2 from Dugan, that bounced up there and blocked by Moore, and the count goes full now at 3-2. And this is why Dugan has that pitch count up. He's thrown a lot of pitches today, and give the Wildcats credit. They have forced him to throw a lot of pitches. That was part of the game plan. 3-2 now to Aaron Caulfield. And here's the pitch. Curveball fouled off, and it remains 3-2. Wildcats with a 2-game lead over both Utah and Oregon entering play today. And even if the Wildcats would lose, they would still have sole possession of first place. Here's the 3-2 again to Caulfield. Ground ball towards short. Up with it, Haskins. His only play to first is offline, and safe is Caulfield. And the Cats will have 2-1. Haskins' throw was to the right field side of first base. Now, Nadai saved a run. He leaned off the bag. He managed to glove the ball, but the foot came off the bag, and so safe at first is Caulfield. White goes to third. And now 2 on with nobody out. Thomas Eager, the pitching coach, is headed for the mound. He's got a right-hander to go, ready to go in the bullpen. And Corona, who doubled his last time up, coming to the plate for the Wildcats. Tying run at third, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4th error of the series charged to the Cardinal. A pretty good fielding team. Haskins charged with his 9th error. That's going to be it for Nick Dugan. He will exit. We'll tell you about the new Stanford pitcher when we come back in a moment. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. All right, here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Wildcats have runners at first and third, nobody out, down by a run. And Joey Voltko will come on to pitch for the Cardinal, a freshman right-hander. First appearance of the series for Volchko, 1-1 record, 6.10 earned run average. This will be his 18th appearance, 14th in relief. 1 save. Volchko has worked 31 innings. He's allowed 21 earned runs, 32 base hits, 29 walks, 40 strikeouts. And Volchko will face Emilio Corona with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Can't close the book on Nick Dugan yet. 5 innings. Gives up 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, responsible for both men on base right now. Volchko last worked on April 30th against Santa Clara in a start. Gave up 1 hit, 1 unearned run in his 6 innings. Struck out a season high, and for him, career high. He's a freshman. 11 strikeouts in that game. So Volchko is out of Visalia, California, 6'4", 205, and facing Emilio Corona. First and third, nobody out. And the first pitch to Corona, taken down low for ball 1. Emilio 1 for 2 today. Doubled his last time up. So Corona now with an 8-game hitting streak. Tying run, Mason White at third. Go ahead run, Caulfield at first. And the pitch, Corona lines it towards left field. McDonald lets it fall in front of him for a base hit. White will come in to score, and we're tied at 2. RBI number 29 for Emilio Corona. Caulfield to second. So nobody out. And here's Maddox Mikalakis to the plate. Brand new ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mikalakis with an RBI ground out his last time up. Officially 0 for 2 at the plate. Now time called Malcolm Moore out in front to throw out the defensive signals for the Cardinal. Mikalakis with that RBI in the 4th, his 26th run batted in on the season. He's got 3 hits and 4 runs batted in here in the series. Volchko set his first pitch, puts a bunt down. Mikalakis, good one, first baseline. Volchko will pick it up. Only played at first in time for the out, advancing both runners. So Mikalakis does his job. Sack bunt moving Caulfield to third, Corona to second. Adonis Guzman to the plate now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 game. Guzman with a chance to give the Wildcats the lead. Adonis 0 for 1 with a walk today. Guzman, toughest guy on the Arizona roster to strike out. Usually makes good contact, but pops up the first pitch on the infield. Cobb drifting over and makes the catch near the first base bag for out number 2. So Guzman on the first pitch, retired. And now it's up to Andrew Kane. 2-2 game. 2 on, 2 out for the Cats here in the bottom of the 6th. Kane 0 for 2 today. And let's see, did he need a new bat? No, he went back in the dugout briefly, but well, found the right piece of equipment, maybe just a new batting glove. So here's Andrew Kane. Wildcats now with 5 hits on the board. Go ahead run at third, that's Caulfield. Corona at second with 2 out. And the first pitch to Kane is down low, ball 1. Volchko against conference teams this year. His last outing was against Oregon State back on April 14th. Earned a save in that game. Retired the only batter that he faced. Here's the 1-0 now, up high and away. 2-0 to Kane. In fact, he pitched twice against Oregon State. No decision in the earlier game. 2-0 to Kane. And here's the pitch. And he hits that one to left center field. That could be trouble. Hot going back. That gets by him. Headed for the 4-10 marker. In to score Caulfield. Corona around third. He will score. Cats lead 4-2. Andrew Kane with a 2-run double. Deepest part of the ballpark. And the Wildcats have erupted here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 runs to take the lead. And a chance to add another as Tommy Splain comes to the plate. RBIs 16 and 17 for Andrew Kane. Another extra base hit for the Wildcats. That's 2 doubles and a triple today. And here's Splain to the plate now with Kane at second. And Volchko delivers, and that's inside ball 1. Well, they wanted to get to the Stanford bullpen, and Volchko now has given up 2 hits here since entering the game. He has 1-0 to the plate, missed inside, and it's 2-0 to Splain. Tommy's 0 for 2 on the afternoon, strikeout and a ground out. And Stanford will get the bullpen up and active again. Volchko with a look back at Kane. The pitch outside, and Moore has to reach for that one. It's 3-0 now on Splain. TJ Adams on deck. Torin O'Haron, right-hander, starting to warm up for Stanford. Here comes the 3-0 now, and that is a strike on the inside corner. Count 3-1 to Tommy Splain. 4-2 Arizona. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Wind been blowing all day and shifted a little now right to left more than straight in. So if you're a right-handed hitter like Tommy Splain, who has 5 home runs, you get it up there in the jet stream and you can get it out of here. Here's the 3-1 pitch now to Splain, taken for strike 2, and it's a full count at 3-2. Volchko, by the way, has given up 2 home runs. Freshman right-hander from the stretch. Check of Kane at second, and the payoff pitch to Splain is down low, ball 4, and that'll put 2 on now for TJ Adams. Three runs in here in the 6th. TJ tripled last inning, 1 for 2 today. Andrew Kane at second, Tommy Splain at first. Adams in from the right side against the right-handed pitching. Volchko, and the first one hit him, and that'll load the bases. And that stung Adams. I think it got him on the left wrist. And he's going to slowly walk towards first base, put that sliding glove on. So the base is loaded now for Brendan Summerhill. Andrew Kane to third, Tommy Splain to second, TJ Adams to first. Summerhill 0 for 3 today to the plate. Wildcats with a 4-2 lead. Chip Hale out to take a look at Adams. And of course, TJ playing due to the injury to Breifogel. You could tell, you knew it hurt because of just the way TJ walked to first base. Wanted some extra time there to. And you guys are never going to say, hey, I got to leave the game, and he's going to stay in there. And I'm sure they'll talk to him when this half inning gets over here, make sure he's okay to stay in the field. Trip Couch, the first base coach, help him get that sliding glove on that same hand where he got hit. I think it was the wrist more than the hand. Well, here's Summerhill. And here comes Thomas Eager, the pitching coach out for Stanford. Volchko has given up 2 singles, a walk, and a hit batter since he entered. And the Wildcats with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So is this a strategy session, or going to let him pitch to Summerhill? It's not been a huge weekend for Brendan, although he's got 2 extra base hits, a triple on Friday, a double and a stolen base last night, 0 for 3 today. And a guy that, again, has some home run power, and he will see a new pitcher. So Stanford going to go to O'Haron here, and we'll tell you about him when we come back in a moment. Cats up 4-2. We are in the 6th. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Torrin O'Haron will take over for Stanford, third pitcher of the day for the Cardinal. He's a sophomore right-hander out of Rockland, California. O'Haron with a 1-2 record of 4.11 earned run average, 20th appearance of the season, 19th in relief. He is their closer, by the way, with 6 saves. O'Haron has thrown 30 2/3. He's allowed 14 earned runs on 22 hits, 23 walks, 42 strikeouts. Team's batting .202 against him. O'Haron worked twice last weekend against California and gave up 1 run in 2 2/3 combined in the 2 games. 3 hits over the 2 games against the Bears. Earned a save in game 1 of that series. No decision in game 2. His 5th save was against Oregon back on April 21st. 2 innings of no-hit ball in that one. So O'Haron here to face Brendan Summerhill with the bases loaded and 2 out. Bottom of the 6th. Arizona has scored 3 to take a 4-2 lead. In the base runners, Andrew Kane at third, Tommy Splain at second, T.J. Adams at first. Summerhill, the 9th man to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bats left. O'Haron, the right-hander, on the mound for Stanford. Splain today, flied out, lined out, grounded out. First pitch, outside ball 1. Volchko worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, a walk. He hit a batter. Now O'Haron, 1-0 pitch to Summerhill, foul back, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody else up in the Stanford bullpen. Cam Walty watching this game from the dugout, now has a 2-run lead. Summerhill trying to add to that, and he rips it deep to right field. I do mean deep. Reynolds back. That ball is to the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs scores, 3 across. A 3-run double for Brendan Summerhill, and the Cats have broken it open here in the bottom of the 6th inning. RBIs 44, 45, and 46 for Summerhill. Another extra base hit for the Wildcats, and he cleans them here. Kane, Splain, and Adams all scoring. It's a 7-2 Arizona lead, and Mason White to the plate. That is the 2nd double of the inning. So Splain at second. White, who started this inning with a base hit, back up there again and takes ball 1 outside. Well, if the Wildcats go on to win today, you'll look back at this series and the extra base hits have just been huge. Pitch inside. And that's what, Chip Hale really preaches to these guys is, swing for the line drive, get it to the gap. It has paid off big time. 2-0 pitch, popped him up, left field. McDonald coming in, fighting the wind. Underneath it now to make the catch, and the inning is over. But the Wildcats make the most of it. They score 6 runs.
The Pac-12 spring pastime continues with the third
4 hits.
Pac-12 baseball tournament.
There was 1 error and 1 man left. We have played 6. Arizona 7 and Stanford 2. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. All right, we go to the 7th, and Cam Walty's first pitch to Brady Reynolds, taken for strike 1. After Reynolds, Timo Becerra and Owen Cobb. Walty now with a 5-run lead, and his next pitch hit in the air to center. Summerhill backpedaling on that one underneath it and makes the catch for out number 1. Just 81 pitches now for Cam Walty, and the last 2 innings have been very efficient. He threw a 9-pitch 5th inning and a 10-pitch 6th. So 1 out here in the 7th. Timo Becerra to the plate for the Stanford Cardinal. Becerra 0 for 2 today. And Walty's first pitch is down low for ball 1. Wildcats 7, Cardinal 2. Walty has struck out 3, walked none today. Here's 1-0 to the plate in there for a strike. Defense straight up here against the right-handed hitting Timo Becerra. Walty deals, check swing, foul ball, and the count goes to 1-2. Well, we're in the 7th, and I don't know what the plans are here for Cam Walty. He looks strong as ever. He's got a 5-run lead. Just over 80 pitches on the afternoon. Here's the 1-2, and that's taken outside. 2-2. The count to Becerra. But I talked to Chip Hill before the ball game about the idea that bullpen was not used in last night's game, thanks to Clark Candiotti's complete game. Here's the 2-2, and that's a chopper to the left side. Mikalakis will charge it and fire to first. There's 2 down. 2 away now for Owen Cobb. And we, of course, aren't supposed to look ahead, but there is a game Tuesday night, and even though it's a non-conference game, it's a big game. It's a rivalry game up in Phoenix, and being able to keep a rested bullpen going into that game, I think, is very important. And Cam Walty giving the Wildcats that opportunity right now. 2 out here in the 7th. And Cobb to the plate for Stanford. And the first pitch to him is up high for ball 1. So if Walty could, possibly go the distance, but even if not, if maybe the Wildcats only use 1 or 2 relievers, and here comes the 1-0 to the plate, and that's fouled off. It's 1-1. And there's nobody down in the bullpen right now, and so no reason to think that Walty's coming out of this game anytime soon. But boy, if the Wildcats could have rested arms on Tuesday, that's huge. Here comes the 1-1 to the plate, low and away, and it's 2-1 now to Owen Cobb, who's got an infield single today and 3 trips to the plate. Wildcats up 7-2 here in the top of the 7th. Walty's 2-1 in their first strike, even now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield shaded to the right. Mason White right on the edge of the outfield grass at short. The 2-2 from Walty, and that's lined towards center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. And so the second hit of the day for Owen Cobb. He's been their hottest hitter entering the series, and it's continued. 12-game hitting streak for Cobb. So Stanford will next play on Friday. They host Arizona State this next weekend at Sunken Diamond for 3 games. And they will be on the road for their final 4, a non-conference game at Cal and then 3 at UCLA. First pitch here to Ethan Hott, low and away for ball 1. Hott 1 for 3. Cats up 7-2. Stanford with a runner at first, 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Walty working from the stretch. And the 1-0 to the plate. Fouled off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the Cardinal, will not eliminated from the conference race, but a chance to sew up a spot in the Pac-12 tournament. Here's the 1-1. That's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. So back-to-back singles here with 2 out in the 7th. And that will bring Court McDonald to the plate. There is no crying in baseball. So here's McDonald. He is 1 for 3. Just glancing down to the bullpen here, I don't see anybody headed that way. Again, with 2 out here, I think, in Walty, man, he's just so consistent. The first pitch is inside ball 1, and you've got a 5-run lead, and that dictates a lot of it right now. Left-hander McDonald at the plate. Walty, the right-hander on the hill. Check of the runners. Here's the 1-0, and it's fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Court McDonald. Now Malcolm Moore is waiting on deck, and that's the danger spot. So this would be a huge out here if Walty can retire McDonald and end the inning. And then you can, deal with Moore leading off the 8th. The 1-1 to the plate, foul back, and the count goes to 1-2. Windy day today, and in some ways it's helped cool the fans off here a bit on a warm afternoon. Here's the 1-2 to the plate, ground ball, foul right side. It remains 1-2 on Court McDonald. Wildcats game in Phoenix against ASU on Tuesday night. 6:35 is first pitch if you're going to make it up there. Or you might already be there. 1-2 to McDonald. Walty again. Check of Cobb at second. Pitch to the plate, bounced up there. Good block by Guzman. Runners have to hold. And the count goes to 2-2. All right, again, big spot here. I mean, you got a 5-run lead, but with Moore on deck comes a big pitch. The 2-2 down low, ball 3, full count. Walty would like a new baseball, and Mike Lusky, the home plate umpire, will oblige. Cam has not walked a batter today. He has struck out 3. 2 on, 2 out. 3-2 the count. Walty's payoff pitch is up high, ball 4, his first walk of the day, and that'll load the bases. So now you've got Malcolm Moore coming to the plate. Moore today, again, he had a bloop double in the 2nd, grounded into a double play to end the 3rd, reached on an error in the 6th. And here comes Kevin Vance, the pitching coach, out to have a chat here with Cam Walty. Nobody throwing down in the Arizona bullpen. And so I know there's no concern here about Walty. He's got a 5-run lead and even a grand slam, and the Cats stay on top. Not that you hope it doesn't happen, but you have to respect Malcolm Moore. The thing is, with the wind blowing in, and Moore's a strong guy, but it's going to take a lot to get it out today. All right, other scores. Well, we got a moment here. Bottom of the 6th, Cal leading USC 4-3. End of 6, it's Utah 4, Oregon 3. Middle of the 3rd, Arizona State and Washington are tied at 5. Top of the 3rd, Oregon State 4 and Washington State 2. All right, meeting done. Here's Malcolm Moore. 13 home runs, 30 RBI for the Cardinal catcher. Bases loaded with 2 down. Walty's first pitch to Moore, outside ball 1. So this inning started innocently enough. Reynolds fly ball out. Becerra grounded out. Base hit by Cobb. Base hit by Hott. Walk to McDonald. 1-0 to Moore. Leans back on that left leg, and the pitch foul off to the left side. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Moore batting .248. has not, had a banner year with runners on base. Average at 234 with men on, 196 with runners in scoring position, and the 1-1 pitch to him, foul back. It's 1-2.
One more.
So Walty now a chance to get out of this.
Strike him out.
Jimmy Nadai on deck
Strike him out.
for the Cardinal.
They're down.
Stanford had a 2-0 lead going to the bottom of the fourth. Cats got a run, and then a big 6-run sixth. Now in the seventh, Stanford trying to come right back. They've got the right guy at the plate, Malcolm Moore. 1-2 the count. Walty set. Here's his pitch. Just ground ball foul right side. And it remains 1-2. Stanford is a team this year. It's been a good hitting team. Top half of the Pac-12. Batting 291 as a team. They haven't produced as many runs out of that maybe as they'd hope. 1-2 pitch, foul to the left side, and it remains 1-2 on Moore. The seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Cam Walty. Stanford last year tied Arizona. They were two of the best offensive teams in the league, as Moore hits it in the air. Left center field. Adams underneath it, fighting the wind, drifting in, makes the catch, hitting over. Huge out there for Cam Walty and the Wildcats. Stanford turned away in the top of the seventh. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 left. Bottom 7 coming up. Cats 7, Cardinal 2. This is Arizona baseball from Learfield. Bottom 7, and Garen Caulfield lead it off for the Wildcats here. Now Arizona with a 7-2 lead. So the Wildcats this weekend have, to date, through the not quite 3 games, of course, have 30 base hits off Stanford pitching. Half of them, 15, have gone for extra bases. And that has put the Wildcats in a great spot here. Now they still have some work to do, but up by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Caulfield outside for ball 1. Aaron's been on base twice today, a walk and an error. He scored a run. Emilio Corona to follow, and then Maddox Mikalakis against Torrin O'Haron. Next pitch hit in the air to right field. Reynolds back on it a bit to make the catch, and there's 1 away. So 1 down now for Emilio Corona. 3 more home games left for the Wildcats after today against Oregon State. And in the hot sauce races, by the way, Hot got the win today, and so Fire has just a 3-game lead with 3 to play here at home in that Taco Bell hot sauce race. So it's going to come down to the wire, I think. First pitch to Corona, across for strike 1. Well, Emilio today 2 for 3, a single, a double, RBI, and a run scored. Comes the 0-1 now from O'Haron. Missed up high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Corona will head to Phoenix on Tuesday night with an 8-game hitting streak. And batting over 500 in the last 8 games. Batting over 400 in the last 15 games. Pitch hit in the air to left field. Over to his left is McDonald. Steps in to make the catch, and there's 2 down. So 2 away now for Maddox Mikalakis. Arizona 7, Stanford 2. Wildcats trying to beat Stanford for the 5th consecutive time. They run-ruled the Cardinal at the Pac-12 tournament last year. Beat them at Sunken Diamond earlier this season in a non-conference game. Taking the first 2 here. Here's a fly ball to the left, fairly deep. McDonald back, still back, and there to make the catch in front of the track. And the inning is over. So 3 up and 3 down for the Wildcats here in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Arizona 7, Stanford 2. This is Wildcat baseball from Learfield. As we go to the 8th, the Wildcats will make a pitching change. Casey Hintz on now in relief of Cam Walty. Walty, just another splendid day at the ballpark. He goes 7 innings, allows 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 107 pitches on the afternoon. And that's a perfect time for him to take the day off. Now Hintz will replace him. We'll see if Casey goes for more than one inning. Of course, the plan has been really all season long under Kevin Vance is get us 3 outs, and we'll bring in another arm. But a lot of that will have to do here with how Hintz fares against the Cardinal. Top of the 8th, it'll be Jimmy Nadai to lead it off. Give you Hintz numbers coming up here. He is a sophomore from Lakewood, Illinois. Nadai 0 for 3 on the afternoon. And Hintz first pitch. Inside ball 1. Casey on the season 2-1 record, 3.68 ERA, 21st appearance all in relief, 2 saves. He's thrown 22 innings, allowing 9 earned runs, 34 base hits, 7 walks, and 14 strikeouts. Pitch, bouncer towards short. White up with it on a couple of hops. He'll fire to first for the out, and there's 1 down. So 1 away now for Brandon Larson. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services. Looks forward to servicing your vehicle. Top of 8, Wildcats with a 7-2 lead. Brandon Larson 2 for 3 today. 6 hits this weekend for Larson. And the first pitch from Hintz across for strike 1. Chip Hale mentioned earlier today down in the dugout that I think they wanted Hintz to pitch today. And they want to see him pitch well today. Of course, they want to see everybody pitch well. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Larson. And only because his last couple of outings have been a little rocky. Against Washington last weekend, he appeared twice and gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and 2 home runs. Larson takes one outside, the count 1-2. And of course, Hintz, like a lot of guys out of the bullpen, have been solid all season. Just a couple of hiccups there, and that's why I think they wanted to get him out this afternoon, see what he can do. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Larson down on strikes. So 2 out here in the 8th. And Trevor Haskins up for the Cardinal. Wildcats up by 5 here in the 8th. Looking for a sweep today. They would stay 2 games up on either Utah or Oregon in the standings. 6 to go. And 3 against Utah next weekend. Boy, that's going to be huge in Salt Lake City. 1-0 the count to Haskins, who's 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Hintz delivers. Ground ball. White to his left. He'll scoop it up. He'll fire to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Casey Hintz. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cats 7, Cardinal 2. This is Arizona baseball from Learfield. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Adonis Guzman will lead it off for the Wildcats. Then we'll see Andrew Kane and Tommy Splain. They're due up here against Torin O'Haron. Entered the ball game in the 6th. Retired the Wildcats in order in the 7th. And now to face Guzman to lead off the 8th. 7-2, Cats with the lead. First pitch coming to Guzman, and now what do we got here? So O'Haron started to go into his windup, and then all of a sudden stopped. I'm not sure, did Guzman ask for time or not? Now home plate umpire Mike Lusky calls for a reset of the pitch clock. And now O'Haron will deliver, and that's grounded into right field for a base hit. Now Guzman will lead off the 8th with a single. Wildcats with their 8th hit of the afternoon. And Andrew Kane will come to the plate. Well, leadoff man reached in the 4th. That was Mason White, later scored. White led off the 6th with a base hit, later scored. Now Guzman leads off the 8th with a base hit. And here's Andrew Kane, who doubled home 2 runs his last time up. And he fouls the first pitch to the screen down the left field line for strike 1. Arizona 7 and Stanford 2 as we play in the bottom of the 8th. Numbers 8, 9, and 1 for the Cardinal in the top of the 9th. Wildcats would be glad to add some more here. Swing and a miss by Kane, and the count 0-2. In Eugene, Utah leading Oregon 4-3, top of the 8th. Those two teams are tied for second place now, 2 games back of Arizona. Kane swing and a miss for strike 3, and there's 1 away. So that will bring up Tommy Splain. First strikeout on the day for O'Haron. Splain walked and scored his last time up. He's 0 for 2. The Wildcats, well, I don't know if the players are, but I guess the rest of us, rooting a little bit here for Utah to win that game today in Eugene. Splain fouls the first pitch back for strike 1 for the simple reason that Arizona will play Utah this next weekend. So that series, again, the winner of that series will own the tiebreaker over the other. And Oregon has already beaten Arizona 2 out of 3 this year. And so the Ducks own the tiebreaker there. Should the two teams, any one of those 3 end up tied. Here's a pitch that's off the batting helmet of Splain. And thank goodness he's okay and trots down to first base. Chip Hale's going to come out just to make sure. Tommy says, don't worry about it. He ducked and it glanced off. That's why you wear that helmet. And it glanced off the helmet up into the screen. And so Guzman will go to second. Splain to first. TJ Adams to the plate. Adams today is 1 for 2. He also got hit by a pitch his last time up. So when Stanford leaves Tucson, and we'll project here a loss today, they just got to look back at some of the mistakes they've made. Couple hit batters today, the wild pitches, the errors, walks, as Adams takes a strike. Today, a little better in the walk column, only 3 free passes. But another error today. Again, 2 hit batters today. Here's the 0-1. Adams bounces it toward short. Haskins will go the short way to second, and the throw to first base, not in time. So the Cats avoid the double play as Adams beats it out on a fielder's choice. Splain out at second. Guzman will advance on to third. So 2 out in the inning now. And Brendan Summerhill had a monster 3-run double his last time up. Wildcats broke this game open in the 6th. They scored 6 runs on 4 hits, 3 of them knocked home by Summerhill. So he comes up here in the bottom of the 8th. Runners at the corners, 2 down. O'Haron delivers, and it's hit in the air to left field. Back on that one is McDonald, still going back on him, turned around, and he will make the catch just as he gets to the track, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the 9th. Arizona 7, Stanford 2. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield. Top of the 9th inning, and Tonko Susak will come on to pitch here for the Wildcats. Arizona with a 7-2 lead. Casey Hintz goes 1 inning and retires all 3 men that he faced. And so after Walty's 7 strong innings, Hintz hits the Cardinal in the 8th, and now Susak trying to finish it up here in the 9th. Tonko has just become a beast out of the bullpen since he moved to the bullpen. In his last 8 appearances, he's thrown 8 innings, 1 inning each time. He is not allowed a run, only 3 hits. He has struck out 15 and walked 3. So he has found his spot. And so when you look at his numbers on the season, they don't reflect what Susak has done here lately since he moved to the bullpen. Because his season numbers, he's 0-2 with an ERA of 6.55. This will be his 15th appearance, his 10th in relief this year. He's given up 16 earned runs, 31 hits in 22 innings, 6 walks, 28 strikeouts. But again, that doesn't tell the story. Since he moved to the bullpen on April 2nd, No one has scored off him. So Brady Reynolds leads off the 9th for the Cardinal. The Wildcats 3 outs away from a 3-game sweep over Stanford and a 5th straight win over the Cardinal. Reynolds today 1 for 3, drove in a run in the 2nd with a single. Susak set, and here comes his first pitch of the 9th. It's up high, ball 1. Susak worked the Friday game for 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Reynolds bats left. Susak, the right-hander, delivers. Swing and a miss. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. No shift on here against the left-handed hitting Reynolds, although Mason White is pulled over just to the left of the second base bag. Susak's 1-1 now to Reynolds, and that's taken for a strike. It's 1-2. Timo Becerra due up next, and then the top of the order in Owen Cobb. Susak's 1-2 now to Reynolds, fouled at the plate. It remains 1-2. So when we get to Scottsdale for the Pac-12 tournament, and you know, Arizona, Utah, Oregon, Oregon State will all be teams to be reckoned with. You wouldn't be surprised if any one of those 4, any 2 of those 4 end up in the championship game, and any one of those 4 win it all. But I still think there's some dangerous teams in this league. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Reynolds down on strikes. 1 away here in the 9th, and that'll bring up Timo Becerra. Wildcats with a 7-2 lead here in the 9th.
Third baseman, number 2, Timo Becerra.
Becerra 0 for 3 today. Because, you know, Stanford came into this series playing good ball. They'd won 7 of 10 coming in. A lot of youngsters on this team and getting better. And they've still got a couple series here to go. And you look at a team like USC, like Cal, even, dare I say, Arizona State. Swing and a miss by Becerra. It's 1-1. And those teams, again, they would have to win the Pac-12 tournament to make a regional. You know, Washington playing better ball, and the Wildcats found that out firsthand last weekend. Here's the 1-1 to the plate, down low, 2-1 out. A second chance for some clubs. Here's the 2-1 to the plate, and it's fouled off. 2-2 now on Becerra. Wildcats looking for their 29th win. A win today, they'd be 17-7 in the conference with 6 to go. Here's the 2-2 from Susak. Bouncer left side, picked up by Mikalakis, and he'll fire to first for the out. There's 2 away. So 2 down here in the top of the 9th. Wildcats 1 out away from the sweep. They swept Stanford here 2 years ago on the last visit for the Cardinal to High Corbett Field. Keep in mind, who knows when they might be back, because Stanford headed for the ACC, Arizona to the Big 12. I think the relationship between Chip Hale and David Eskers is so good that I have a feeling these teams will play some non-conference games in years to come. First one to Cobb, popped up, short left field. Back is Mason White, makes a basket catch for out number 3. That is the inning, that is the ball game, and that is the series. A fitting way to end it here in the 9th as the Wildcats sweep out the Cardinal by a final today of 7-2 for Stanford in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Arizona 7, Stanford 2. That is your final. We are back with the totals in a moment. This is Wildcat Baseball from Learfield.